Hello everyone, I'm Andrea Mesa. I'm a video content creator and I'm here with Patrick Wind, who of course is nominated for Forbes 30 under 30. And if you're in the marketing world, you of course have seen his ads on Instagram, YouTube, you name it, he's been there. So Patrick, we actually want to start talking about the fact that there are so many social media platforms. And additionally now, there's actually Clubhouse. And we know that many of us are actually on it right now. So someone would ask, what platform should you actually prioritize? How do you pick one?
Yeah, so as you have very well said, there is not just one platform nowadays, but there are tons of them. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have Snapchat, TikTok, you have now Clubhouse, name them as you want. And which ones would you have to prioritize? Well, it depends on your offer, your product, and your target niche. So if you focus, for example, on women between 30 and 40, well, Pinterest is a great app to be there.
Okay, yeah.
If you focus on a younger generation, then you would definitely have to be on TikTok. And also if you focus on B2C, if you focus on B2B, for example, you have mentioned Clubhouse, which is a really cool app that we're going to talk also in another episode. Okay. And Clubhouse is a wonderful opportunity right now to really target people at a certain age that are mainly 100% iPhone users. Okay, so therefore you can also segment already by simply going to this platform. You focus only on the iPhone users and not so much on the Android users because they're not allowed to enter the platform so far. Right. So it really depends on which is your offer that you have, which is your buyer persona, and where do you want to reach them.
Okay. And a lot of other people would say, okay, if you have, let's say, a 1x1 or a horizontal, can people just think, okay, I'll just reformat for each platform, right? But then again, you actually have to think of, TikTok is mainly dancing. And then like what would be the best way then to create, like, let's say a content marketing strategy when you want to be on all of them?
Yeah, so in general, what I do from a paid perspective is that I mainly focus on the squared format, like one-on-one, which is more or less the compromise, which looks good-ish everywhere, but it's not ideal for a purely vertical format, for example, right? However, there is a cool trick that I've seen from many infopreneurs in the last couple of days. So they produce content mainly for TikTok, and then they repurpose it for Instagram Reels. Which is a really cool way to get a huge organic reach nowadays.
Right, and because they're both similar too.
They're very similar. It's the only thing is not so much about dancing on Reels, but still.
Okay. Well, yeah, what is the time limit for both, for Reels and for TikTok?
Yeah, Reels has now extended to 30 seconds. It used to be 15 seconds, but now you can go all the way up to half a minute, which already seems like pretty long, obviously.
Right,
it's short.
Okay, so we were just talking about Clubhouse, and not a lot of people even know how to use it, how it can benefit their business. So what's the importance of being on Clubhouse right now?
Well, it strongly depends which kind of business you're running, right? So obviously, it's also not for everyone, but if you're, for example, an online marketing or digital marketing freelancer, consultant, or agency, I honestly believe that Clubhouse right now is a huge window of opportunity for you to get new clients. So you, for example, as a video producer, you could find tons of e-commerce owners that need their ads produced. Infopreneurs that needs a new webinar or whatever. If you focus on the recruitment industry, if you focus on the real estate sector, you can really focus on a very narrow niche and find your target audience there.
Yeah, I was starting to see how there are so many different rooms that you open up that talk specifically about a niche, like you were saying. So whether it's how to create video content for real estate, how to, all of these different niches. So I think it's amazing. And I honestly tell people to join Clubhouse. I've only been on it for about a week and a half, but it's a really, really amazing platform. So what else could you tell us about Clubhouse right now?
Well, the two of us, we get $10 commission for each of you who sign up. Nah, we don't.
We wish though.
Yeah, we wish though. No, so first thing, why am I so keen on that this is a big window of opportunity right now? Well, think about it. The other day, a good friend of mine, no kidding, was in a room with Gary fucking Vaynerchuk.
Really?
Yes. And I mean, there were like 1,000 people in the room. He raised his hand.
Gary's there.
I mean, but still, like 1,000 people. Gary's on stage, like 10 people. Yeah. He raises his hand. He goes on stage and he says, "Hey, Gary, what do you think about this and that?" And he answers.
Yeah.
And I mean, this kind of direct contact to like real ape stars,
Yeah.
that's really difficult on other platforms. I mean, of course, you could, comment on a LinkedIn post or Instagram post.
But it's not as direct.
It's not as direct
Right, yeah.
at all. And for example, for me personally, like one of my life goals is to have a conversation with Barack Obama. It really is. and actually, Andrea,
no joke, yes. Yeah.
so she just gave me as a birthday present
the autobiography.
The autobiography from me. However, so for me, it's like a big thing to talk to him, and it's like a big milestone in life. But how am I ever going to achieve that? But now it's likely, knowing also that the Obamas go very, very strong on podcasting. They have a big agreement with Spotify, for example. I don't know if it's allowed for them or not. If they have their exclusive contract with Spotify, they also be on Clubhouse. But let's assume that it is. It's very likely that the Obamas will host sessions on Clubhouse. Tonight actually is Elon Musk. And
I actually saw that.
And there's like a teaser group in Clubhouse saying, hey, tonight at 6 p.m, Elon Musk. And only the teaser group had like 1,500 people, which is crazy. So first point, why you should be on Clubhouse is there is a huge potential right now to really talk to huge stars that on all the other platforms are impossible, okay? First. Second, if you're in a room with Gary Vee, Barack Obama, or Elon Musk, it's likely that there are thousands of other people. And if you raise your hand, you get on stage and you ask a smart question, all of a sudden you're exposed to people that have similar interests like you have, therefore they're in the same room, and they will start to follow you, because right now we're in like the Wild West, like Instagram back in the days. Okay, so everyone follows each other because nobody knows exactly what's going on, so they just following you, and then they go to your profile, they read your description, they click on your link to Instagram. Okay, you can and you should.
And Twitter as well. Yeah.
Exactly, you can and you should connect your Clubhouse profile with your Instagram and your Twitter account, and then you gain followers on Instagram. Good friend of mine, Christopher, he's also in our mastermind, Mr. Roas and stuff. He's from New York, and he had 600 Instagram followers, okay, and he just keeps posting his results and stuff. And after 2 weeks of being like really intense on Clubhouse, now at this moment he has 1,700 followers on Instagram.
I think it's like a super direct way to grow a community. It's super fast.
It is,
right?
It's huge. So it's not only a great way to reach A stars, but it's also a huge opportunity to grow your community, just as you said. And as a third part, you can specifically position yourself as the expert in a very narrow niche. Because, okay, one thing is that you join the session of Gary Vee and you raise your hand and you're like, hey, I'm also smart and stuff. The other thing is that you're like the host of the marketing community Spain, for example, or the Facebook advertisers Germany.
Like a moderator of
you're
a
the
certain
moderator,
niche,
which automatically puts you on the next level, because you're not just a random guy who asks a question, you're like the host. And you do this repeatedly and you get tons of new followers for your community. Yeah.
It's true. I mean, I was in one of the rooms actually recently, and they were just talking about marketing ideas and how to position yourself on LinkedIn, I think. And when I saw it, I mean, I just spoke for about 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden you get new followers because they like what you were talking about. I mean, you have to be cautious, of course, of how it is that you present yourself, because here the people only judge you via what you say. So honestly, of course, you're trying to position yourself very highly, but I think it's a super amazing way to grow a following, to grow a community pretty much. So yeah.
And there are tons of hacks that we're going to share with you throughout the next weeks. But one of the hacks that, I've seen in my own Clubhouse game working really well is your profile picture. As there are no visual components, it's mainly focusing on audio, which is great. Right, and then in German there's also this saying from the radio advertisement. It says, once it is in your ear, right, it stays in your brain. And it's like, all of this, it's actually a quote from Daniel Hipke, a good friend of mine, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Like all of this podcasting, all of this Clubhouse game, once it is in your ear, it sticks in your brain, so which is really cool. But however, many people still are very dependent on their visual component, and the visual way that they receive and decodify information. And they're gonna take a look at your profile picture. And in the beginning, my profile picture was the one from the Maldives, like laying in the back and stuff.
At the beach?
At the
really?
beach, yeah. I don't know. I wanted to be authentic and stuff.
Okay. And what did you change it to?
I changed it to a typical Forbes one, and now everyone sees. And things have changed ever since then, because before, the way that when I gave a comment, like when I was speaking as a guest speaker, I was a host in the rooms, I was perceived as, you know, a random dude.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it's much more authority. So
of course,
really easy. Really easy. The profile picture should be professional, and add some text like a logo or your company brand or whatever behind it.
No, that's a good idea. Yeah.
It's the only visual component that you have.
Okay.
That's really cool. And the second thing is, once you join a room, it is more or less a waste of time if you're just there as a listener. I mean, you can be there to consume content, but once again, from my personal perspective, it's the same as in all social media platforms. The more passive time you spend there, the less time you have to actively produce content for the platform. So I, for example, you would typically not see Patrick Wind on the couch, on the sofa, scrolling down on Instagram. Yeah. It's typically not what I would do. I mean, I would sometimes to analyze my competitors and to see what's the newest trends, but I would not, you know, just consume social media as a standard user. I would always try to actively produce content, like we're doing right now and stuff. And the same with Clubhouse. So if you just join a room and then you're just listening for hours and you're like, hey,
no, you got to take part in the conversation. Yes.
That's the point. And also what I've seen, like I've got invited as a guest speaker several times, and there were two ways of me joining. One is like after a long day on an energy level really low, and just being there and saying like, hey, yay, amazing, and then I just answer stuff, like 5 new followers. Versus if I join, my energy level is super high. I'm like full of energy, wanting to share content, wanting to give some valuable insights. And in this kind of setting, boom, like 50 new followers, because you know, you have to get as much stage time as possible. You know, the longer you talk, the more realistic is that people click on you. And that's like the third hack that I wanted to share now. Is in theory, people are going to consume Clubhouse passively listening to what you say. But reality is, who of you in 2021 has enough patience to sit in front of the phone for 1 hour with the eyes closed?
Yeah, it's totally true.
And you're like, okay, that is a very interesting topic. Nobody does that. Everyone's doing multitasking. Either, like the same with when you listen to podcasts, either you are cooking, or either you're doing your laundry.
Or commuting.
You're in the car or in the metro, whatever. And if you're actually really sitting down and listening to it and you're on the phone, guess what everyone does? They're doing multitasking on the phone. So they take the phone, either go out of the app and go to Instagram or go read their emails and stuff, or they stay on the app. And that's super interesting. Now, if they stay on the app, the typical behavior of the Clubhouse user
is to look at the people's profiles, which is, I've caught myself doing that a lot.
That's exactly what everyone does. Now they go to the profile, and to which profile do you go first? To the one who's speaking.
The speakers, or the ones who are able to speak.
Exactly. So you check them out, you read their description, you go on the Instagram profile, you start to follow them. So that's super cool. And once you are on stage, and once you have an interaction with someone, the coolest thing to bring them to the next level in the funnel, so to really convert them to customer, is you say something like, hey, very interesting question, Andrea, I am answering stuff. And at the end of my answer, say like, Andrea, why don't we discuss that later on? I'll add you on Instagram, I'll send you a message there, and let's take it from there.
Okay.
So you really bring the traffic that you take from Clubhouse,
and bring them into...
Exactly, which is upper funnel, you take them to the next funnel stage, and there you convert them to paying customer.
Amazing. Well, yeah. Now I see you can totally benefit from being on Clubhouse, being active on Clubhouse, and then of course bringing that into other platforms as well.
Exactly.
So thanks so much for the insight, Patrick.
Yeah, I actually had a blast.
Of course, don't forget to, of course, follow us. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and of course we're going to be on all these other platforms as well.
Obviously on Clubhouse, so you find us there as Andrea Mesa.
Andrea.m.mesa and
Patrick Wind. And that's also really cool. Like on Instagram, I had to be Patrick Wind _ because my name was already taken. Clubhouse is a window of opportunity. Like when I joined TikTok, for example, Patrick Quinn was also gone already.
Really?
But right now with Clubhouse, you're still one of these early movers.
Yeah, if you
Not
get the
by any-
invite now, yeah. That's why it's
Exactly.
exclusive.
Exactly. So thank you very much for listening, and see you in the next one.
All right, yeah, see you soon. Bye.